Welcome to Eye on the Illini Live. This is Mike Cagley here with Kedrick Prince and his returning trip since last basketball season. We got Marcus Griffin on board here. Look at that. He's ready to rock and roll. Comes out of
Back
a
in the building.
basketball scrimmage, play coaching AAU. And
Yep,
we
just a
are
little travel team, fourth graders. So it's fun.
that's awesome.
Keeping my mental, keeping me crazy.
Yep, yep.
Definitely keeping me crazy because these boys, it's only three in particular: Riker, JJ, and Brody. Those three keep my blood boiling.
Yes, the joys of coaching.
Oh
There's
yeah,
nothing
gotta
like
love
it.
it.
So, speaking of the joys of coaching, Mirkovich comes out with 19 points, 14 rebounds, the first Illini freshman to get a double since a certain Kofi Coburn.
Yes, big time.
Yeah, what'd you guys think of Mirkovich?
KP, you go first.
He's surprising me. When you look at him, and I'm stereotyping, when you look at him, you just don't see. You don't
Not
see
at all.
that, man. You just don't. But that dude is effective. And for the people who may want to chime in and say, yeah, he's doing that, against Sisters of the Poor, I'm telling you, he did the same thing, against Florida in the secret scrimmage. He's just a smart basketball player that knows how to utilize his body, and he can shoot it. He's just a tough matchup. I mean, it's hard to explain. He's just a tough matchup, and it's a nice weapon. Everybody knew what Illinois was going to have coming into the season. They did, but this right here, nobody thought that. I'm gonna tell you, nobody in their right mind, and I know a lot was going on in that program. I didn't think that.
Marcus?
Well, I'm gonna double down on everything that you said. Where you see him, when he runs up and down the court, he runs awkward. You just don't see it. His vertical, you probably can just slide the phone book under his legs because he does not get off the ground. But his IQ, his basketball intelligence is at such a high level. He knows how to use his body. And for him to put up first freshman, what was it, 19 and 14?
Yeah.
It's just he's not the most athletic kid on the court. He's never going to be, but he knows how to play. He's a very high IQ player. And it's just, I can't wait to see how the season goes. This is game one.
And he passes the ball really well too, guys.
Go out and play.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good passer. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's the thing too. You don't even see that part of it that you just didn't think was coming. It's a nice weapon to have. I'll put it that way.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought his court vision is really good. He also knows he understands the ability how to read where the ball's going to go.
Yep.
And he gets to while he may not be the quickest cat in the world, he gets to the point where the ball's going to be on the rebound before other guys do.
Yep.
And then he uses that body to keep people away and potentially draw fouls. Now, I don't know how that's going to work against more athletic players, but again, at Florida, it seemed to work just fine. He could be the surprise of the century here,
When I'm sorry to interrupt, but when you're not that athletic, the one thing that you have to do against the most athletic guys, you got to keep your body up against them.
Hey,
you got to stop
Marcus,
them from being able to jump. You got to stop them from being able to run.
I lived that life.
Yeah,
I was always the not athletic guy. I had to do all that stuff while superstars like you guys were looking fantastic.
And that's why he looks so good, because he's not that, but he's so smart. He knows how to use his body. Yep. And that's what's going to separate him. Like it takes big guys a long time to learn that, because that is a skill set. That's something that just takes time to get. And to see him getting it, like you said, y'all saw the scrimmage game, and to see him seeing his first actual exhibition game, to see him utilizing it so early is very impressive to see.
Yeah. The other guy, Wagler, man, he looked good, shot 50% from the field, got to the free throw line, had 6 rebounds, 4 assists. I really thought he played really well for a freshman. What did you think of him, Ked?
You know what? It's really weird. Some people, they'll give Coach Underwood a hard time because of the way he talks about his players, and they think he either hypes them up or not enough. His assessment of Keaton Wagler is accurate. He's not a flashy guy, but if you look at his stat sheet, he's effective. He really and truly is. He is a guy that just runs the offense. And, when you look at it and you think about what you saw out of him tonight, there's no way in the world you thought that this kid would have put up 18 points. There's just not at all. And, I'm just impressed when he played 26 minutes, and he's not a strong guy. He's just effective. And you know what? I mean, the competition wasn't great, but a lot of people tonight aren't playing great teams. There's only a handful of them out there. But you know what? It's the ball staff's going to basket. But I want to say something. Mike, I know I'm jumping the gun, and please don't get mad at me. You were asking us about Merkovic. And the comment that's on our board right here, right away, from Kenny McCoy was about former Illini Marez Johnson, who was outstanding tonight in his debut against Oakland. He put up 24 points, grabbed 3 rebounds, and here's the funny part. He shot threes. He was 0 for 2, though. That's going to be one hell of a matchup when they play together. Play against each other in Champaign.
Think they'll guard each other, or you think Morez is going to be playing center?
You know what? I don't know, but to be honest, if they were smart, I would let them guard each other personally, because to me, they're both strong physical guys. Somebody's going to get in foul trouble. David does a really good job of getting people drawing fouls too, guys. I think he doesn't get credit for that because he's extremely smart at getting to the free throw line. And tonight he was 3 for 3. And Griff is right, man. I'm just looking at this. 14 rebounds, man, and no one else was even close. He takes rebounds from other people. He took at least 3 rebounds from Tomislav tonight.
But to say guarding, I don't think they're going to be able to guard each other because Johnson, he gets up and down the floor. He really gets up and down the floor, and that's going to put a strain on Big Boy because he doesn't move like that.
Not at all.
Maybe in some sets, maybe because college sets a lot of big-to-big screens, so there could be some half-court switch-offs in situations like that, but just up and down the court, I don't know. I think that'd be a bad matchup on our side, but it's a matchup that I love to see.
I don't think Underwood would do it. I don't, but I bet Dusty May would do it just because it's going to be in Champaign.
But although if I'm a dog, I think I want to guard anybody personally. Like if I'm Johnson, I'd be like, I guard anybody on their team.
Yeah, if I'm Merkovich, so I take him outside and at least get him out on the wing and see if you can bring him out away.
See if he can slide those puppies.
Yep.
You got to give him that check. Now,
yes.
The other thing, I guess, I wanted to do one segue. It's not really Illini related, but yet it is Illini related. A happy birthday to Lauren Tate. Now, for you folks who are younger, Lauren Tate's been covering Illinois since like 67. 66, something like that, but before I was born. A lot of us who lived in the area around Champaign grew up on his Tate Lines columns. And of course, kids who went to college there then got a chance to read that when you went to college. But that man knows more about the Big Ten than any other living person. So a huge happy birthday to Lauren Tate. You guys both know him. But throw in your comments because there's not a better guy covering sports.
Here's my thing with Lauren. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can remember the first article he wrote on me. And some people say it was a kick in the butt article because he was just like, because I was in junior college and he caught me on a lazy game. But I still had like 25 points and like 17 rebounds. But it was a lazy effort game. And then I can remember him stating some of the fact that, well, if this is the effort that he's going to come to Illinois with, he's definitely going to have a rude awakening, something like that. And then I read that article every day for like 6 months. And everybody that I played with just hated me because they just got destroyed. And then that was the last game in that is when I went up to Parkland. And then the refs, I think I put up 48 in Parkland, and I scored like 32 in the second half. But yeah, I just remember that article, the very first article he ever wrote about me. I just remember that. And I took it so personal. Oh my God, I took it personal.
Did you ever tell him that?
Nope. Nope. It was like how Shaq always. I don't know if y'all heard the story how Shaq said David Robinson had talked about him, but he was just using that as motivation. And David Robinson never talked about Shaq.
Yeah.
And I knew he was just trying to motivate me because he wanted me to be successful for Illinois. And that's how, and I took it that he was shaming me, and I just needed that fire so to bring out the dog out even more.
For me, here's my thing. Being in, when we were younger, it was just him. Lauren Tate,
Yep.
Was him and Mark Tupper. They were it. Everybody wanted to be them. And truthfully, it's kind of weird the way this is twofold, how it's worked out. He knew everything, and all the coaches, the recruiting sites and all that stuff. It wasn't out there like that. There was some that you could get paper-wise. But Lauren, what I like about him, for me personally, is that all the years I used to just run to the radio, listen to him, or read his stuff online. I would always go, when I went to a game in Champaign, I would get up every Saturday morning. It was football, if it was a weekday game, just to read what he had to write. And what's unique in why I said it was twofold, now this guy's interviewing me, once a month. And it's just weird how journalism has changed and how professional he is. And he's a nice guy. And a lot of people in the country, doesn't matter what school they come from, because Illinois has played them at some point in time. They all remember Lauren Tate. So he's a great guy, and I just respect him. And for me, I'm nobody, but when I go to games, he'll talk to me. He will never walk by me and I speak or shake my hand or ask me a question. I just respect the guy. I think I'm blessed to have an opportunity to be around him.
Yeah, and for those of you who enjoy the Illini Guys Sports Spectacular, our weekly radio show that's on over 20 stations across the state of Illinois, the reason that show exists is because when I was a kid, I would have to mow the lawn before I could go in to watch the Illini football games. So I would be up after football practice. We'd get out of football practice about 9 a.m. I'd be out there mowing as fast as I could so that I could get in the car and head into Champaign. And I would listen to Tate's radio show back then it was with Turpin. And I would always think to myself, why isn't this show around the whole state? And later on, I was able to get the show across the whole state for Brad, Larry, myself, Kid, and Matt. But anyway, that show was the reason why we started the radio thing. And yes, DS, the radio is an old-fashioned thing that old people use. But anyway, if it wasn't for Lauren Tate, I keep thinking about things would be a lot different from all of us Illini fans, because he sat through the 70s, which that was tough. And then he sat through the 2010s, and that was tough. So the man's obviously tougher than nails. But let's get into basketball. I just thought I would do that. A couple other performances that I thought was interesting. I thought Boswell tonight looked at himself as a leader, trying to get other guys involved. I think he probably could have went out there and scored 25 if he wanted to, but it seemed like he was trying to get other guys involved and spread the ball and kind of get the team concept going. Did you guys get that impression, or what were your thoughts on Boswell's performance?
I thought he looked bored. I think people he hasn't been challenged yet. You can see he's a better player. He shoots it better. Brad Underwood mentioned the fact that how strong he is. He just looks not. I don't want to use the word disinterested, because that's not it. But he has not been challenged at all. He needs some competition right now, because the game looks too easy for him. The way I look at it.
To double down, I hate to not 100% agree with my man KP, but some part of me feels like he is bored. But that's when he got to challenge himself. He got to have his own little things in the games. But when I saw the schedule, I saw this game on the schedule. I was like, everybody can score 20 against. Not to knock Texas State or anything like that. But I was like, okay, like Illinois, go out and do your job. The last 15 minutes of the game, 10 minutes of the game, you're gonna have your second and third stringer guys in the game. That was my expectation of the game, and it played out like that tonight. So, but yeah. I think guys just had a solid game today. He could have easily went downhill every time he got a ball screen at the top of the key. They could not keep those guys out of the paint whatsoever. And he was just being the floor general. He was like, I want this guy to eat. He saw my big boy out there knock down a couple threes. He going to get him the ball again. So he played a solid, clean game.
Yep. A good floor game. I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, and I guess it's interesting to me. I think that it looks like the players look at him as a leader on the team, and I think they need that. I think at the end of last year they were a better team when Boswell started to assert himself a little bit. I thought that made a difference. So I was happy with that. Now, Ivicic ends up with 21 points, 4 boards, ended up with a few TOs, but it played a strong game. Thoughts on what we got out of Big T?
You already know.
Boy,
Go ahead.
man, Griff, I'll tell you what, that dude can shoot it, but you're right. You want to see that post up game, and everybody talks about how he can play in the NBA. And maybe I'm not saying we're not missing it, but the thing right now is I like to see that part. And maybe that's not what they're asking him to do. Maybe Davad is going to be that guy who's going to be that little post guy. But dude is just, he looks automatic. Now he shoots the ball so well. I think it's going to go in every time. And one of the things they mentioned was the fact that he came back he was able to come back this year and have a whole summer. His conditioning's better. And he didn't look tired. He really didn't. I'm not going to be critical of his rebounding. And the reason I'm not going to be critical of his rebounding, like I mentioned, I really think that Merkovic took some rebounds from him. But if he really wants to like improve his draft stock, and I know Griff is going to say this, get his butt on the block a few times, whether it's get you 6 or 8 points. If you're not going to get points, draw fouls. Because if you can do that and shoot it like that, how do you guard somebody like that?
You took the words right out of my mouth. You took the words right out of my mouth. He is, I don't want to see what I saw last year. Like the squad, it looks like they're gonna shoot a lot of threes again. But they got the length and the bodies to kill down low. And I just want them to be an inside-outside team, not an outside-inside team. And so when you got multiple 7-footers, somebody that could go to the low post, throw up a jump hook, I don't even care if you don't have to sit down there, but just attempt, just be down there, hit somebody, and 4 rebounds. I'm not going to jump all on nobody's back for getting 4 rebounds because he did have some of them taken. But when you 4 or 5 inches taller than everybody else, I want you to get more. I'm sorry. I say that to my little 4th grade. Hey, I say that to my 4th grade kids right now. We are the most athletic team. We're the biggest team. I need y'all to rebound like that. I want y'all to get down there and I want you to rebound that basketball. But he had a monster game. His jump shot is almost as good as Brian Cook's, just to say that, is looking as good as B. Cook's, but he's looking smooth. He's looking real smooth right now. First game, I didn't see the Florida scrimmage. Maybe you guys have. And it's just, he's looking good. Game 1, he's looking really good.
Well, you know, what I liked that I didn't see as much last year, in the second half, he got the ball on the left-hand side, did a little head fake,
And went
took
to the
two
basket.
dribbles, two dribbles, and then popped it in. And I'm like, man, if he can, now granted, I'd like to see him take it all the way and throw it down, but the bottom line is we know he can catch and shoot.
Yep.
And if he starts to get that little 1 to 2 dribble and pop one in on top of everything else, somebody's going to overplay a catch and shoot guy. And if he has the ability to make him pay for that, holy cow, he becomes a whole different animal. But like you guys said, it'd be fun to see him do a little bit more in the paint, but it's hard to complain. 9 for 12.
Yeah, but I think he did one shot fake, and I think he got all the way to the basket finger roll, didn't he?
Yeah.
Shot fake, he got it all the way to the rim.
Yep. I just saw that 2 dribble and pop it up. I'm like, oof, that's what you couldn't get a lot of guys to do, is they, you know what I mean? They can get the ball when they get it passed to them and take it back up, but can they make that little dribble fake and then put it in? And that's a tough one. So I thought that was great. Let's go with
Hold up, I got one other thing to add.
Go ahead.
So this team is not going to be graded on offense. This team is going to be able to put up points. They didn't even have all their starters. They had people. Well, how I'm going to grade them is their effort on the glass and their defense. And so it's kind of, I'm not going to pick on him from having a 21, but he needs to be a double guy this season.
Okay.
He needs to lead the team in rebounding, and the team needs to be very good on the defensive side of the ball, because they're going to be able to put up 80 points in their sleep. in their sleep this season.
Yep, I can't argue with you there. Now, going down the lineup here, Rickhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Look at 21 points. Obviously, 6 for 11 from the field, 5 for 9 from the 3, 4 for 6 from the free throw line, 5 boards, 2 assists, no turnovers. So obviously engaged life with Adalia McKenzie, the original Illini gal, is treating him well. But I thought again, the preseason game, but I thought it was nice to see him come out and have a nice game to at least build confidence a little bit.
He did. And I'll tell you what, I think he's going to have a good year. I really do, because he looks more comfortable. And once the entire roster is put together, hopefully sometime before the March Madness comes, he'll be a guy coming off the bench. You heard Coach Weber kind of hint about it tonight, him being the sixth man, and that's okay, because if you have a sixth man come off the bench and do that, he's older. And I remember going out for media day, and one of the things he said is there's no pressure on him this year. He's not going to put himself in a situation where he's mad and frustrated. Just going to go play. And he looked really good. He rebounded well, and that's a nice weapon. If you really think about it, I mean, to have a weapon like that coming off the bench, I would like to see Zonomir look to score more, because I know he's good at that. But it's good to see for Ben. I mean, just for a lot of reasons. A lot of people out there, you only get to read what we write. But if you ever had a chance to talk to that kid, the kids are always nice, but that kid is just different. He's a really good kid and very well spoken, and he appreciates everything that he gets. And so what he's getting right now, and I was hard on him last year. I'm not going to sit and say I wasn't. I was really tough on him, but then when he started telling us that his game had to change because what Illinois was asking him to do, I backed off. Now there's no pressure on him.
I agree with everything. After how the season ended last year for him, his confidence was probably the lowest it's ever been in his life. And to see him come out in game one and stroke that ball and was shooting it, it seemed like every shot he took, he felt like it looked like it was going in. He believed that it was going in. Confidence is everything, especially for a three-point shooter. It can come and go, but as long as you keep on shooting it like you know it's going to go in every single time, you be fine. And he came out game one, he had 21 points, 5 rebounds.
Is that what he did? Right?
Yep, he did. He ended up with 21 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists.
Great game one. I want to see when he's not shooting the ball well, can he still be effective on the court? Can he still give me those 5 or 6 rebounds? That's what I want to see. That's the next evolution, because the shots are not always going to fall, especially when we saw it last year with the 10. The shots are not going to fall. So when they're not falling, can we still get those 5 or 6 rebounds, no turnover games?
That's a good statement, Griff. I agree with you, because it's not going to – and I'm going to tell you, the fans, the 3-ball looks good, and they're a great three-point shooting team, but that's not going to happen every night. There's going to be some nights where they're going to have to find other ways to score. Teams that run them off the 3-point line.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I'm running off the line.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I would do the same thing.
And you get what was it? 5 or 6? Was it 5 or 6 guys in double figures? Mike, how many was it?
Yeah, you ended up with 6 guys in double figures, with Merkovich at 19, Boswell 10, Ivasic 21, Jake Davis had 13. Wagler had 18. Rickhouse 21.
Did Jake Davis have 3 threes?
He was 3 for 8 from the 3. Yes. Ooh. And I'll tell you the other thing that's kind of interesting, that kind of creeps up on you. Didn't really notice it, but Big Z and Jason Jaxtis both had 9 boards apiece. Now, that's something that, again, I realize who they're playing against.
Yep.
But, you got to hustle your butt to make that stuff happen.
Yeah. That's a good stat.
I'm not going to give them that is my expectation. I'm sorry. I'm not going attaboy, because every game we are 9 times out of 10 the biggest team on the court. Go get the ball. And I understand you got to have effort, but that's my mindset. Go get the ball. Like I was just telling one of my kids today, I'm trying to tell him his mindset every rebound. Why? Because I'm a monster on the glass. That's what I tell a 4-year-old kid. And today, when he got subbed into the game, first rebound off. I was so proud of him. He went and snatched that ball off the rail. Fourth grader. But that's my mindset. And so with Illinois, with the big guys, that'd be the same thing that I say to them. Great job, but game one, I expect the same thing in the next game.
Yeah, I thought Jake Davis hustled. Like I said, Big Z. I'd like to see him, like you guys talked about, be a little bit more aggressive with the ball, try to score some of those points. I thought overall this was a very strong effort by the team, and yet it's hard to really see, get a huge measure out of this. And couple comments here. Let's talk about is I do think that getting some minutes for these guys is good. I think that's probably, if you wanted to throw rocks at Brad Underwood, it's that he doesn't play some of the bench, and then later in the season when you need him, they got no confidence. So I thought this was a positive, Ked. You've talked about that a lot in terms of how a team is built, by bringing along some of the guys down the bench.
You look at this team right now, there are 3 or 2 potential starters sitting on the bench due to injuries. And Illinois, it kind of bit them in the butt last year. Today was different. I hope, in a game like this, when you have an opportunity to put your sub and your bench in under the 4-minute media timeout mark, this is an opportunity for you you let some of those players play, because you're going to need them. And then when you put them in a game when you really need them, as a coach, I wouldn't expect much, and I can't get mad about it. I'm not going to sit and lie to the media and say, well, they practice every day, and I'm just saying this with any coach, and we all have different philosophies. I would never do that. I think there's so many games that you're going to play this year. What if you're in foul trouble or somebody gets hurt, which, again, I just said to you, that seems to be the norm at the University of Illinois right now. Get them out there. These are games where you can do that. There's enough, I hate to say this, low-profile games where you can let some of those guys play 8 or 9, 10 minutes, because Brandon Lee, has an ankle injury. No one thought that. Stojakovic, he's working out. He hasn't done anything. We haven't seen him yet. So you want to be prepared. They're on the team for a reason. No, you don't expect them to come up and put double-doubles, but you expect them to be able to go out there. If they're on the team, they should be able to go out there to perform and compete.
I agree with everything that you said. The one thing that we do know is the Big Ten is rough. The Big Ten is tough. And if guys' confidence is already shaken coming in, it's only going to get worse. So the sooner you can play with that confidence, get guys confident and everything, it's only going to help the team out in the long run. You get these guys believing, knocking down some shots, feeling good on the defensive side. Come March, come April, those guys are making key contributions to your basketball team.
Yeah, and I don't think you can underestimate that. I think, they've got an opportunity here, and it may not be the one you want in terms of you'd like to have everybody healthy, but it's the one you got, and you might as well use that to your advantage, as we did that. Here's another one. I thought this was interesting. That's the best Illinois look since the 1989 game where Henson put in the bench warmers and they pulled away. Probably talking about Georgia Tech. I don't know if I'd say it's the best we've looked since 1989, but I will say, and that's mainly due to the competition level. But if you're going to start off by playing a team that's not as good as you should bury them. And I thought Illinois buried them.
Yep.
One of my best games I remember, and Griff, this is no disrespect to you, for some reason, there's been a lot of non-conference games, but the one game I remember, every year I look at the team and I think, man, is this team really, really good? What makes them special? Was in the 2005 team, I think it was against Gonzaga, and it was in Indiana. When I watched them dismantle them, I knew they were going to be good. I'm like, they were clicking. They looked like a well-oiled machine. I think that's who it was against, but I remember
that was 04. I don't think they played Gonzaga in 05. Wasn't it 04?
Maybe it could have been. And I just remember that team watching them play, and I think they're Indiana, and it reminded me of that. And then tonight, kind of reminded me of that because you're still missing players. So I don't know how good that team's going to be. I really truly don't. Illinois has some great teams. When you played, obviously, Griff, and when Terrence Shannon was playing. But when I see teams scored well, Illinois' offense is tough. And, there's a person who just left a comment. I believe it is David, I think.
Yeah, I was going to go to him
yeah.
next, but
Go ahead.
DS has had fun all night, but I'm not really liking him after I get a read that he was 3 in 1989.
Yeah,
boy,
man,
I was in college, man. That's scary.
Yeah,
well,
same here. That was my first college. That was my first senior year because I compressed 4 years of college into 5.
I was 11.
Were you really?
We really don't want to talk to you much about this either, Marcus.
Yeah, no kidding.
This is definitely a conversation that we're going to end right there. So now let's go to David, Marcus, you're out of the picture
here. Yeah. Man.
So there's a lot to take about there, but basically I think the key thing is like how the 3-point shooting, nothing was forced, high-low action. And of course, Bill Self loved that action, and Griff can talk about that from firsthand experience. And would you like to see? Basically, what David's saying is he'd like to see some high-low action. So, Marcus, you played under the man, the myth, the legend. Talk a little bit about that offense and how it might apply here.
It's the same thing that I've been saying about. We talked about it last year. When I played at Illinois, Coach Kruger, first year Coach Kruger, he utilized some big, but not more of the high-low type of offense. Coach Self utilized me and Brian Cook and Arch, Brian Cook and Demir, as Brian Cook can space the floor, and then we can roam in the paint. And I think Illinois has a lot of different options that they can utilize that. Because, like we said before, shots are not always going to fall, but they got length. They got size down there. And even if you're missing, the one thing that Illinois showed the last couple of years that they crashed the glass. They crashed the glass. So even like the attempts, but the pressure that they're going to put on that offensive glass because they're so long is just going to be, it's going to keep teams on their heels. And so I would love that to throw some, get big boy, spread it out in the middle of the paint, let them see his chest, let them see them numbers, throw him that ball, let him go over the left or the right shoulder. He miss it, let's crash the glass. And I would love to see that. Absolutely love to see that, because then when the defense starts to collapse, now you start kicking that ball out to step in, practice 3-point shots. Just walking in, practice 3-point shots, and those percentages are a lot higher than the ones you coming down and you just shaking up.
And I think that's something to now the start of trend that I'm not like. Okay, at least Jacob's about the same age as me and Kid.
Yeah, that's
all right. So I think that step in 3 is something that people don't think about. So let me kind of give you a little bit of a reasoning for folks who haven't played a lot of basketball or coached it. But when you're step in 3, that means you're getting the shot or the pass from the inside. Your shoulders are generally square to the basket, so you don't have to do any maneuvering of your body to square yourself up. You're ready to shoot, you get the ball, and you just step into it, which if you go back to the old days, they don't really teach this very much. But in the old days, we were taught the rocker step, and you bring your right foot. If you're right-handed, you bring your right foot back and up and shoot.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, even now as an old guy, if you give me the rocker step, I'm going to hit it from anywhere inside of 18 feet, fairly regular as a fat old man.
Mike, it's funny hearing you say that, and here's why. I want to talk about his thread first before I come on it. The thing with that, you're right, threes aren't going to fall, but the way this offense works, they cut. If you remember last year when Trey Wright was there and Will Riley, they get to the basket. So if threes aren't working, they will get to the basket. That shot, Mike, you're right. Now everything is catch and shoot because athletes are quicker and faster. Nothing frustrates me, and I'm going to say I saw a footage of an Illinois workout, and people were doing what you said, but they were shooting with the wrong leg. Because it makes sense. You're right-handed, you step into it with your right leg. If you're left-handed, it's your left leg. And so and it's not taught, But the player that I saw doing it was definitely shooting it with the opposite leg. And then when the player starts shooting with the right, they made like 5 of 7. It makes a big difference if you have the time to do it. But having said, that's not something that's taught anymore, because if you can't catch and shoot, you're going to struggle. You watch all the great teams, they don't put it on the floor. But if you
Yeah.
got time to do it, even like there was times tonight with Jake Davis, I thought, Mike, you mentioned he was 3 for 8. If he would have maybe done a couple of those, his percentage probably would have went up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the comment that we're seeing here
I like this comment.
is threes, layups, and dunks. And that's those are really your high percentage shots that you're going to win basketball with. Now, one could say if you wanted to change around the spacing of the game and how it's done, you could eliminate the corner threes, which get, especially in the NBA, get a little bit closer, and those guys are so good. But again, the geometry of the game is if you can shoot 40% from the three, you're going to be cooking with gas, getting 3 points for every time somebody gets 2, which is why you see the centers becoming less of a factor in basketball. But I do think as the athletes are just getting better and better, you're going to see them covering more of the court, and then your big men are going to become more important again.
I hope we get back to that era. I hope we get back to that era that big man can be actually the defensive anchors that we need them to be.
Well, it seems like it's a lost art right now, because all the big men right now, they can all shoot threes, man. If you can't, you're not going to play much.
Yeah, and you're also going to have to be able to defend out there, which or you're just like Wembanyama, where you're so tall you can actually block a shot from the wing while you're standing in the lane.
That's a freak of nature right there.
Yeah, I would not really. Yeah, and then of course, obviously, we're going high low from big to big.
Yeah,
and that's when we talk high low. I guess we're talking generally from big to big.
Yes, big to big. That they have it. They have the pieces right there. They have the pieces. It will be nice for coach to draw up a play every so often to get one of the other bigs out, and big boy is getting a cross screen from a guard, and he is stepping right in the middle of the paint, going in, diving. Big wants the ball and throwing up some type of jump hook. It would be nice to see, because they have the talent, they have the pieces to do that.
Well, you have 2 big guys in Tomislav and Merkovic. They're really good passers, both of those guys. If you look at we haven't talked about this yet, but Colin Boswell was your starting guard tonight. He had 5 assists. The next person in line was Merkovic with 4, Jake Davis had 4, and Wagner had 4. That tells you how good they are. And we've seen how good of a passer Tomislav is. I bet you'll see at some point in time. I did see tonight, though, Zvonimir tried to throw it to Tomislav a couple of times. That's a tongue twister. A couple of times. But he forced it, and he threw it away. So he did try it a couple of times. Or at least looked at it.
Yeah, especially when, oh my Lord, like earlier in the season when when the competition is a little, and let's be honest, I ain't gonna say it because I don't want to, so I'm not gonna be disrespectful to Jackson State. But when you got competition like you played today, where Illinois was a clear favorite, those are the times that you get to work on some of those things. Like the players can do it themselves, and not necessarily a coach thing. Hey, you got 5 inches on him. I want you to duck in when I get the ball at the top of the key, and I'm gonna throw it to you.
You know what? Let's think about that for a second. We all talked about how big this team is. They were clearly taller.
Yeah.
And this team, I mean, if you put it in perspective, they literally launched 37 threes tonight. They were 17 for 37. Arguably, they're not the biggest team, because I'm telling you, Michigan's big as well. Purdue is big as well. But they are huge, and they launched 37 threes tonight. But they made 46% of them.
I'm glad we did not bring that up, because I definitely was going to say something about that. But I'm glad Mike did not bring that up today.
Say what you want. People want to hear it.
No, because it goes back to, I said all this last year. I don't like, this team is too long. They got too much length. I do not want them dying by the 3. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it. I love coaches going to have floor spaced. It's going to be a lot of backdoor cut actions. It's going to be a lot of ISO. When Stojakovic, I can't think of his first name, but when he gets out there, he's going to have a lot of ISO, just like who was the kid a couple of years ago would play with IO off ball. He did a lot of isolation and low
Frazier?
post.
Trent Frazier, yep. Was it Trent Frazier?
No. Was it IO? Oh my God, my old age is setting in. But a lot of isolation in the mid post. That's what I want to see. And then
Marcus Domask. Is that who it is? Somebody just said
Domask.
Domask. Thank you, DS.
Yep, Marcus Domask. And I want to see stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. And as I look at this, I guess I don't know that we can take anything defensively from what we saw.
No,
other than hustle. I don't know. What do you think, Marcus? I mean, you're out there. You're a big time college athlete. You were out there against small time college athletes. What did you look at? What did Coach Self look at as what was good for you as a player defensively?
Do you want me to tell you when I was at practice, when I first heard the score, it was 44-13. Do you want me to tell you what the first thing in my mind I said?
What's that?
You go ahead.
I'm mad at they got 13 points.
Yeah.
Truthfully, Griff, I'm gonna tell you, but sorry to cut you off. There was a couple of times when I think they hit 40 something. I thought the same thing. I'm like, don't let them score. I was really thinking, and I'm an offensive minded guy. I was thinking the same thing, buddy. I really was.
That's my mindset. That's how that's the dog in me. I'm sorry, but we are Illinois. That's Jackson State. No disrespect to Jackson State, but I'm telling the guys, let's go this 5 minutes, the game start, and I don't want them to score. That's the mindset. We're going to jump this ball before the next TV timeout. Let's keep them at 0.
That pays dividend later.
Next TV timeout.
It does. Because when I look at some of the teams I've watched the last 2 weeks, I've watched a lot of college basketball. They were on non-conference games. And Illinois offensively is as good as a lot of them.
Yes.
But there are some teams out there, I'm telling you, they make it uncomfortable. Yep. UConn's one. Go back and get on YouTube. They guard. They make life hell for people. So even if it's a team like that, unfortunately, I hate to say it, you're playing Division I basketball. Jackson State got a nice check from the University of Illinois. That's why they played the game. Go out there and I don't want to say that word, but you want to make it uncomfortable for them.
Yes.
And tonight, I think it was too easy. I think there were a couple of times where they could have blocked shots and they just stood there. Don't do that. I mean, what are you saving it for? Because if you make it tough and the teams know, gosh, I got to play Illinois. Somehow we have to stop them, and then it's tough. Because the one guy who's going to guard you and make you uncomfortable is Kylan Boswell. We haven't seen Stojakovic yet. I know that's not his forte, but you want a roster of guys who just can go out there and guard. I remember when Terrence Shannon was playing and Ty Rogers, coaches would always say, those two made life hell for people. That's the mindset you have to get.
But that's going to be the test of this team. Because nobody's going to question them on how many points they score. It's going to be how hard they play on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to have to look people in the face. And Boswell is going to be the leader of that. My man is not scoring today. He is not scoring today. And when you have one of them, it's challenging. But when you have 3, 4, 5 of them, you got a good team now.
And the thing I don't think the thing that people understand is that you can't be a great defensive team by turning off and on a switch somewhere. And it's got to be trained and practiced to be consistent all the time.
Yep, just every day.
And that's the hard thing about defense. Like when I played basketball, I knew there's some games I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, but I knew for God's sake that if you were going to score against me, I'd make you earn it.
Yep.
And so that was my whole theory.
But that was my only thing. I forgot what time of the game it was, but I wish I would have got that text message saying it was 44-4. Like the first 10 minutes of the game, it was 44-4. I would have been like, oh. And my first thing would not have been the 44 points. It would have been the defense.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, oh, and then I'm getting my hairs on my arm to stand up. Because I'm like, that's the statement that we making now. We making that we gonna sit on people, we gonna slide our puppies, and you not gonna be able to score against us. That's the message that I will. But again, they still, we're picking here. It was 44-13, so
that's true.
Well,
Nathan, at this point, it was 30-6 at one point. Nathan, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the interesting thing I think too is we're looking at is Friday night. Of course, Illinois will play Florida Gulf Coast.
Yep.
And then on Tuesday night, November 11th, so a week and a day from now, they're going to be playing Texas Tech. And Texas Tech is going to come to the State Farm Center, and all they're going to think about is we want to beat Illinois on their home field, our home court. And they are going to come playing for Bear. And then they've got Colgate on Friday night. So the basketball team's going to play 4 total games and 3 more times before we see Brett Bielema's team out on the field again. So there's going to be a lot of basketball for us to talk about, and it's going to be exciting.
I'm here for
we are having some technical difficulty with Sturdy, so I know he's trying to get through. He's trying to get through, so we'll see if we can get him on. Now, this is interesting. So Merkovich, I'm assuming, played point guard, so he's comfortable handling the ball. I do think he is comfortable handling the ball. And I still think, like I said, handling the ball is one thing. Handling the ball well and seeing the court around you is a different thing.
Yep.
And he really does a pretty good job of seeing the court around him. Because I know plenty of guys who can look at the ball while they're dribbling and do a decent job with it, just have no idea what else is going on the basketball court.
Can't pass nobody open. Yeah.
I will tell you this, for me, guys, and I'm really sorry to say this, I don't want to see him dribbling the ball in the open court. And here's why I don't. The competition is going to get better. And he only had 2 turnovers tonight. One of them was from the back. They're going to take the ball from him. He's as good as he is. I mean, he's a good passer, but against weak opponents, sure. But against athletic guys, because the scouting report, to me, that would be one of the things I would see. He gets the ball, because it's nice if you can get a big to push up the floor. But we've all said it, and this is no disrespect to him, because, we do love him. I'm sorry, DS. I'm not a buzzkill. I'm sorry, baby. But truthfully, I think that's a recipe for disaster. Sorry.
Agree. Give it to the guards.
Well, I don't know if it's a recipe for disaster, but
he was too upright today when he was dribbling the ball. So
he's just not athletic enough to do that. I'm sorry. Not. You think about you tell me against Michigan State that you can see that happening to him, or against Purdue,
against
or against
a
Texas
big
Tech next week. That's not going to happen.
Against a big
Thanks, Mike. I love you too. I told you he called me buzzkill. I saw it.
DS is all over us, man. This guy's 3 and 89.
KP, I can see him dribbling against the big, but the problem is when he gets past the big and then he gets these guards coming up behind him.
Yeah.
That's when he needs to get off. He needs to get off the ball. But if a big is faced, I think he can dribble with the big. But if they switch and then they put a guard on him, somebody that can get under him,
that's tough.
That's where he will have. That's where it would be tough.
I agree.
Oh, that's not wow.
Yeah, this is Mike's favorite guy.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna see. Here we go. Let's see if we can get Sturdy on board. Brad, can you hear us?
Building.
Hey.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, perfect. So Brad's going Luke Skywalker here. He's driving. He can't see anything, but he's on the podcast. What are your thoughts, Brad? You were there, front row.
Obviously, they're extremely skilled. I mean, that's the first thing that stands out is the skill, the size and length. I thought their effort was good. The one thing that I have a concern about is that there was a marked drop off on defense every time Kylan Boswell left the floor.
Okay.
They're just not as good. If you look at the numbers, they were able to get into their stuff, run stuff, get clean looks when he wasn't on the floor. And I think that's where they're going to have now. Hopefully, when they get Stojakovic and Petrovic back and so forth, I think it could be better. But you could just see a drop off when he was on the floor, and he can't play 40 minutes. I don't think, not the way they ask him to defense, the things they ask him. They are so skilled. Merkovich was obviously impressive, fantastic rebounder. He's definitely fun to watch.
Yep.
Sometimes he's, like Brad said, he's got to kind of take some of the fun out of it for him or make it less fun. The underhand pass full court was very intriguing. It's about as exciting as the Ben Hummerkaus attempted dunk. For a second, Ben thought he was not Ben anymore. But yeah, it was pretty good performance. Good to see him shoot the ball well. But I thought that the thing I liked was almost all their 3-point shots came off of actions, and they were inside outs. They were getting the ball in the paint and making the right read and just things like that. And they're getting comfortable playing together. And I think that's an important part of this, is just becoming more comfortable and figuring out how to, where guys are going to be, and starting to trust each other on the offensive and defensive end of the floor. But yeah, there's a lot of front court depth, though. I love what I see out of Radomir and Jason Jackson off the bench, both grabbing 9 rebounds. I mean, that's really good to see.
But just to say something real quick, I don't think Ben had a chance in his life to make that dunk. I don't know what he thought he was doing, but I don't give him no points for trying to attempt something that he was not going to make.
Brad, your thoughts of Ben's dunk quality?
I asked him in the press conference what happened, and he said, I took off from a little farther out than I thought I did.
You think?
So it happens. It happens to the rest of us.
It does.
When I'm on the 9-foot rim, that's what happened to me. So,
yeah.
So
9-foot rim. Come on, Brad. You're talking 7-foot rim now.
Ooh, Brad. Oh.
Hey, whatever I have to do.
Yeah, I know.
No, my dunk is a dunk. If you got the phone videotaping at the right angle, you can say that's a 10-foot rim.
Yeah, you can.
Just look.
Nobody is going to believe you, but yes, you can do that. Yeah, I think this is probably where I come from. This Brandon Lampy says 3 points were quality shots. They were in rhythm, not last year when it was just ISO and then step back and shoot. I thought that's a pretty accurate. Is that what you saw, Brad, there at the game?
Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of what I was talking about. I mean, like getting in the paint, running off of actions, getting good looks. I mean, those were different. They're rhythm threes. When you take rhythm threes, good things tend to happen. And when you take bad threes, and sometimes at the end of the shot clock, you do have to take a bad three, right? I mean, that's part of it. But overall, most of these threes were good ones. Thought I only saw 1 or 2 heat checks or kind of bad shots. But, so that was a good thing. In fact, I actually thought maybe they overpassed a couple of times. I mean, I know these guys like to pass a lot. And I thought there were a couple of times they had an open shot or had an open kick, and they tried to make a kind of a pass that was a little bit more, as Al McGuire used to say, had a little French pastry on it.
So question for you, Brad. Illinois plays Florida Gulf Coast on Friday night, and then Tuesday night, of course, Texas Tech rolls into town. Is there a chance of seeing Mihajlo Petrovic and Andrei Stojakovic on Friday night just to get them a little used to things before they run into this Texas Tech team, or what do you have? You may be speculating, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, and Underwood mentioned it post game. Brandon Lee's probably going to be out for a bit. He's got the ankle injury. He stepped on a foot in the last 10 minutes of practice. So he obviously did it pretty good, as Brad said. Stojakovic had a really good practice Saturday. He has not gone through a full practice yet, and that's by design. They've tried to limit him. But he had a really good practice Saturday, and then it was really sore Sunday. So they're going to, they take tomorrow off, and then they're going to see how he is. He said the rest actually usually helps him. And so I would say that I expect Stojakovic to play on Friday. He said he's trending in the right direction with his hamstring. So that's a positive. I think if it was tonight, it's just precautionary. They didn't need them to beat Jackson State. So there's no point in putting those guys out there and putting them at risk. And then, when you can, you have a week, 8 days here to get ready for Texas Tech, and that's when you need them to play. So, yeah, I think we'll see them. Hopefully, I think Stojakovic is going Friday. Petrovic, we'll see, but I know they want them both back by Texas Tech.
Okay, so that makes sense. It's getting late here on a Monday night. Let's go wrap around. Marcus, give us your final thoughts, then we'll jump to Cad and then have Brad kind of wrap it up for us.
Final thoughts. It was a great opening to this new team. This is a different experiment that Coach Underwood is taking under the helm. This is a very different experience. So, first game, I liked what I saw. The energy offensively, they are going to put up points. It's like we said, we're still missing 2 key additions to this offense. So they're going to put up points. What was the final score? How many points they put up today?
It was 113 to 55.
And that's missing another, 18, 19 point a game score in that mix. So with that being said, it was a great first game. I would just like to see some more dominating in the paint. But other than that, I'm not going to pick it like we just complaining to complain at this point. As long as we can continue to grow defensively, I'm good. Let's keep on. Let's be those dogs.
For me, I agree. I really want to see, for selfish reasons, Petrovic and Stojakovic play. I really do, but I understand there's no point. I mean, what would they have done tonight? Because if you have one injury with this schedule coming up without them, you may lose a game or two that you could possibly win with them. Griff, you said it best. I'm not even going to make this a long closing statement. They played a weaker opponent. They did what they were supposed to do. These are tune-up games where you can work on things to get better. It was impressive, and it was good to see them get going in college basketball.
Sturdy, before you go, I want to just say one thing real quick, and this is something that's very close to my heart. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everybody vulnerable. Your data is a commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, and harassment. But now you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. Have you ever been a victim of identity theft, harassment, doxing? If you haven't, you probably know someone who has. Delete Me can help. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Sign up now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off Delete Me plan when you join deleteme.com/HIT and use promo code HIT at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/HIT and enter code HIT at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/HIT. Code HIT. Okay, Brad, I had to get that off my chest. What are your final thoughts?
I think it was a really good performance in the opener. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. I thought they were even better than I thought they would be. Got the freshmen got their feet wet in a real game. Wagler, first half, it looked like he had a few jitters and a little tentative, and then second half, he's really good. Merkovich just came out and he's balling from the get-go. Just having fun. So it's really good to see that. And, I think that when they get those 2 guys back, they have a really deep, really talented team. Yep. Can hurt you in a lot of ways offensively, and also can be really good defensively with their length, and having a guy, at the top in Kylan Boswell who can really do a number on the best player on the other team on the perimeter. So, yeah, very, very excited to see what they do moving forward. Florida Gulf Coast to be a little bit better than Jackson State. And then we kind of progress up to Texas Tech and see how that goes. But, yeah, very, very exciting to see this team and what they can be. They're up to 5th on KenPom after this one. And so I'm not sure that sometimes we don't underrate them a little bit because we see the flaws, and that's kind of what we do, and because we see them every day. But, I mean, when you look at the analytics, they're really highly ranked on both T-Rank and on Ken Pump. So tells you what they can be when everything starts clicking.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a heck of a team, folks. We will probably not have a podcast on Friday night. We may do one Saturday, just recapping what happened. We will be back, obviously, on Tuesday night. We will be back with the game coverage with Texas Tech, and Monday night I will have the preview with Maryland. So there's going to be a lot of content out there, and of course, a week from Friday will be the Colgate game, and then boom, we'll be doing stuff for Maryland. So there's going to be a lot of eye on the Illini. And as you can see, everybody and their mom is now trying to do live shows after games. Nobody sends me a thank you card. It's kind of sad because basically you got to have somebody who thinks of these things. But we will be out there. Of course, we try to have Illini legends like Marcus and Jonathan Kerr, people like that come on to give you a perspective that you can, you only get from guys who've been there, standing on the field with the fans going crazy and the pressure on them. So that's something that you're never gonna be able to replicate. So we like to bring on experts like that. And of course, if you're in the Peoria area, Marcus, give people a little bit of idea about your team, just so people know what you're coaching, and if folks are around, they might be able to go out and catch you sometime.
I help volunteer with the Dunlap Eagles. It's our fourth grade travel basketball team. This will be my third year helping out. I don't have any kids, but this is my way of giving back. Every last kid that comes through, they've all come to my basketball camp that I had this summer. And so it's a fun time. We had a scrimmage today. Our actual first game will be Saturday at Metamora. Um, if anybody's in the area, come watch some Coach Vane pop out of his neck because he's yelling at his kids too much. But it's going to be fun. These kids are working hard. They want to get better, and I just can't wait. I can't wait. Saturday
Yeah.
can't get here any sooner.
And if you got a link, is there a link to your team anywhere, Marcus, that you can drop in the comments? You guys have a website or not?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, that's something to get other coaches working on. You're coaching the basketball. They can get the dang website up and running.
We just use. I don't know if anybody knows about the Game Changer app.
Okay.
The Game Changer, it is an awesome app. So we wanted kids to be able to take our plays home with them and let them be able to utilize it. We literally put every play in this app, and then you get the simulation, and it shows you every one of our plays, defense, offense, out of bounds, is all on this app. So parents can have their kids at home studying our plays and watching them every position as you can hit play and watch it go.
Yep.
So
well, that's cool.
Oh yeah,
that's cool. I would love to have that. When I had a couple players. Literally, we just went to man because I couldn't teach them.
Oh yes, we have those.
Like,
but thank God they can still study.
Yeah, exactly. So it was pretty much like, hey, you know what, dude, you got number 23 until he goes out of the game, and then that made it really nice.
I've been there.
And then real quick, St. Dominic's Rosary. Yeah, we need Morez. Look, man, I don't think there's anybody who has anything negative to say about Morez. We all loved him. Unfortunately, there are some times when issues come up and family gets involved that things change. You know what? We're not going to say anything bad about Morez. Ked and I and Brad, we were talking about him being underrated as a freshman, and where we had him ranked then was where he ended up as a senior. So I thought we were way ahead of the game on that one, as opposed to most people. Try to see if there's anything else that comes out. Yeah, and I think we've got the Balkan invasion. I thought Mihajlo Petrovic, when he gives somebody the side eye on the bench, they got to be worried. Like, are my relatives going to start disappearing? I keep thinking of some of these guys from some of the movies. You got the Eastern European bad guys, and he's got that steely look. So I think it's going to be fun to see him when he gets out on the court. People are going to be impressed by his quickness and ability to handle the ball. Should be a lot of fun. And then, like I said, we like Morez, so I don't have a problem. I don't like to see him in a Wolverines thing, but life is what it is. And then I think that's all. So, folks, until next time, go Illini.